also God gave us the greatest gift ever when we are sent here on earth. It's called free will.
Nope, you don't have free will.
Proverbs 20:24 says, "Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?"
Christians seem to believe they have free will. They do not.
Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps."
One more precept.
Job 33:15-16 says, "In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed. Then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction."
You do not have free will. Saying you have free will is a lie. The Most High controls all, and that includes you. He controls your actions, the things you say, and even your own thoughts, and there's nothing you can do or say about it. So I bet you're wondering, if the Most High controls everybody, then how can any one of us be responsible for our own actions? That's the whole beauty of it. And by the way, in case you haven't realized, I'm the Black Inquisitor. If you like the content, be sure to give this video a like and follow. Anyway, you wanted to know how you're responsible for your own actions when the Most High is the one who controls everybody, right? Let's see what the scripture says.
This is 2 Esdras chapter 4, verses 1-20. I will be reading from the Good News translation. The angel Uriel, who had been sent to me, replied, "You can't even understand what happens in this world. Do you think you can understand the ways of God Most High?" "Yes, sir, I do," I answered. The angel continued, "I've been sent to ask you to solve 3 riddles about what happens in this world. If you can explain even one of them to me, I will answer your questions about God's ways and teach you why the human race has an evil impulse." "I agree, sir," I said. Then he said to me, "Good. How do you weigh out a pound of fire? How do you measure a bushel of wind? How do you bring back a day that has passed?" I answered, "Why do you ask me such questions? No human being could answer them." Then he said, "What if I had asked you how many dwelling places there are at the bottom of the sea? How many rivers flow into the waters beneath the earth? How many rivers are there above the dome of the sky? Where are the exits from the world of the dead? Where are the entrances to paradise?" If I had asked you these questions, you might have answered, "I have never gone down into the waters beneath the earth, and I have not yet entered the world of the dead. I have never gone up to heaven. But all I have asked you about is fire, wind, and the day that has just passed, things that you have experienced. Yet you have given me no answer. You can't even understand things that you have been familiar with since you were a child. How then can your little mind understand the ways of God Most High? Can someone already worn down by this corrupt world understand the ways of the incorruptible God?" When I heard this, I fell face downward on the ground and said to him, "It would have been better if we had never been born than to have to live in a world of sin and suffering without understanding why things happen as they do." The angel Uriel answered, "I once went into the woods and heard the trees plotting together. They were saying, 'Let's go to war against the sea and push it back so that we may have more room.' But the waves of the sea also plotted together and said, 'Let's conquer the woods and extend our territory.' But all the plotting of the trees was useless because fire came and destroyed them. And the plotting of the sea was just as useless because the sand stood firm and blocked its advance. Now if you were the judge and had to decide between them, which would you pronounce right?" I replied, "They were both wrong because trees belong on the land and waves belong in the sea." "You have given the right answer," he said. "So why can't you see the answer to your own problems? For just as trees have their place on land and waves have their place in the sea, so the people of this world can understand only what goes on in this world, and only heavenly beings can understand what goes on in heaven."
There you have it. The answer is, that it's beyond your understanding. That's the answer. Similar to explaining quantum physics to a 3-year-old, the concept of fate is pretty easy to understand, but there's a lot of people out there who refuse to believe in fate. They want to believe that they and those around them have control over their lives. The reality is that they really don't. The Christian church, they choose, and yes, I said choose, to believe in free will. However, the Christian church are hypocrites. They talk about prophecy and free will all in the same breath. How can you say on one hand that events in the world will happen no matter what, regardless of what anyone does, and then in the other hand say people have the power to change the world? Both can't be true at the same time. Now, I say the word choose because, again, the answer to the question of whether or not one can really choose, when the Most High controls all, is outside of our understanding. Let me provide a precept to prove that you can't control what you do. The Most High does.
Matthew 26:31-35 says, Then saith Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Peter said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples.
So here we have Christ telling Peter that he will deny him 3 times, and Peter is sitting there saying he will never do that. Peter is believing he has control over his own actions. He thinks he has free will.
Matthew 26:69-75 says, Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly.
See that? Peter did exactly what Christ said he would do. So why would Peter cry bitterly? Because he realized right there that he had no free will. None of us do. So, when the heathen in the Christian church tells you that you have free will, they are lying to you. All praises to the Most High. Stay blessed, Israel. Shalom.